Let's watch it. They actually found him. Found who? Found who, I wonder.
What if I told you I had irrefutable proof of aliens not only existing, but being extremely hot and horny? I think we could all agree that would be good news. But you know what's even better than good news?
They probably have extraterrestrial diseases, though.
Great news. Which is why I want each and every one of you to check your pockets right now. If even a single...
I'm wearing leggings. I don't have pockets.
If one of you did that, I am beyond disappointed. This is a YouTube video, not fucking sorcery, you gullible fool. The great news I want to share with you is that Tampa's newest and already most hated villain has actually been identified and caught. Right before Hurricane...
No, wait, what? Let me read that again. Owner arrested for animal cruelty after allegedly leaving dog behind in hurricane. Cop rescues dog tied to fence as Hurricane Milton floodwater rises around it. You heartless fucking piece of shit. Dude, I would die for my dog. I said it. Yeah, I would die for my dog. And my cat, obviously. I'm just saying, in this case, like, if my dog could live, I would let him. Yeah, I would rather die.
Hot. Right before Hurricane Milton was scheduled to slam into Tampa, a patrol officer noticed a dog chained to a fence in very high water. Everyone wanted to know who was the owner. What irredeemable piece of shit could do this to their pet? The idea was for the dog to die in the hurricane because the owner didn't want the dog anymore, clearly.
Oh my god. I had to give up my cat once because I had to move into a new apartment. And I literally cried for like 2 weeks straight because I didn't want to give them up. I tried to find the most perfect, like, family to give them up to, and I still cried like a bitch. And I tried really hard not to cry like a bitch when I saw them in person and had to give them up to them. I had to move to an apartment because they didn't let me have a cat or a dog at the time, and then I moved into another one. It really broke my heart. And I just can't imagine, like, not wanting a pet anymore. It's just... It's just, like, I don't understand. I don't get it. How can you be such a soulless freak?
This became such a huge story, not only online, but locally, that my mom actually called me just to vent her frustration after seeing that video. The video was massive, and it became like a real-life Yu Yu Hakusho chapter black tape, where seeing it immediately sent you into a frenzy and made you hate the owner of this dog. He immediately just became public enemy #1. Like fucking Cobra Commander, and everyone was trying to hunt them down for how cruel this was.
On Trooper, who was found abandoned along I-75.
They tied him too, like... Animals can survive if they can help it. They'll run to high ground. It's so sad. Not only did you abandon him, you freaking tied him up so you can't do anything. It's disgusting.
In Hillsborough County. That was the day Hurricane Milton made landfall.
As Hurricane Milton was barreling toward our state, this dog was left to fend for itself in Hillsborough County.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Florida Highway Patrol troopers found the dog standing in water up to its chest after a Good Samaritan spotted the furry friend tied to a pole on I-75 near...
he's scared, man.
Bruce B. Downs Boulevard.
This is a video...
Why are they filming? Because they're cops. It's for evidence. What do you mean? What?
That infuriates pretty much anyone that sees it, for good reason. I thought there was no chance that the owner would ever be identified or anything like that, because this is not uncommon. There are tons of subhuman worms that do this all the time to pets they no longer want. But in this case...
Oh my god, when I was 4 or 5 years old, my parents, when they when they moved into my first house, or actually no, it was the second one, but like they had to move into a new area. We got a cat, and his name was Schnitzel, and he was a big black cat. And my parents told me the heart-wrenching story of driving, I think it was next to a bridge, and there was a little girl that said that she was giving out kittens for free, and then my brother picked him like out of the litter. There was like 6 or 8 of them. And she told my brother that those kittens were found in a sack and they threw them into the river and she heard them cry. I think you're like the most like disgusting piece of shit imaginable. On God, like swear on my grandma's grave, this is a true story. His name is Schnitzel. He's long gone. This was like many, many years ago. I was like 4 or 5. He was one of those kittens, and that little girl saved them and gave them and told people that these are horrible people that did this. She found them in the sack and she was giving them out. It's so sad, man. So sad. And it happens everywhere. It's disgusting.
It became so big that it seems they put a lot of resources behind finding the owner here and bringing them to justice.
And so Trooper Morales rescued this dog.
Lopez tells us 23-year-old Giovanni Aldama Garcia has now been charged with aggravated animal cruelty. She says Garcia told investigators he was driving to Georgia to escape the hurricane, but left his dog on the side of the road because he couldn't find anyone to pick the dog up.
Goofball rolled a nat 1 on the persuasion check. That's a stupid reason. There were a million other things you could have done besides just leave the dog to die. And in fact, he did more than that. It's not like he just...
You could have... Look, I'm not advocating for this, but you could have just let him go. Like, I'm just saying the bare minimum is just let him go and fend for himself. Tying him to the fence where he's going to die. What is that? What is wrong with you? How low IQ of a troglodyte do you have to be to think that way?
Pulled over and let the dog out, which would have been horrible. He went the extra mile into being exceptionally evil by making the decision to tie the dog to that fence, ensuring it would die in the hurricane because it would have no way of escaping. This asshole had to waddle through like shin-high water himself in order to tie the dog to that pole. He really wanted it to die. This is...
I don't know, man. Face the wall or something. I can't stand people like that. I totally understand that Charlie's mom called him and she was fucking pissed. I hate that shit. It's disgusting.
It isn't like the matter of, oh, I was out of options, so I had to tie my dog to a fucking fence in the middle of a hurricane in order to keep myself safe.
Someone put a gun to my head. I had to tie up I would rather die than do that.
Safe on this journey to Georgia. Like, it's not like you couldn't take the dog with you. You were actively traveling with it in your car until you just threw your hands up, I guess, saying fiddlesticks, and then pulled over to tie the dog to the fence. I guess you needed to make room in your car for more Galaxy gas and Fent, you brain rot loser. Like, this is so unbelievably cruel, and there's no justifying it at all. There is no reason he could possibly give to try and make this not an awful, awful, terrible thing that he has done.
He did admit to being the dog's owner and admitted to wanting to get rid of this dog and had been making efforts to get rid of this dog for several weeks or months even before the storm. And this was his way to do it.
In the days following the dog's rescue,
just take him to a shelter. That's like the least it's not hard. What?
Rumors circulated on social media that Trooper had been returned to its owner. However, the Leon County Humane Society wrote on Facebook that never happened.
That's so crazy to me that apparently he was trying to get rid of this dog for quite a long period of time and then decided, Eureka, this is the moment. Hurricane Milton can kill it. Finally, the Lord has answered my prayers.
It's just a low IQ moment. I don't know. There's stories people write about people that live under bridges, and it's like, you know, they just exist. Yeah, I think that's like just a troll. Like
a disaster to kill my dog. What kind of psychopath? It blows my mind that someone like this exists. Like that is a testament to how far technology and science has come, because this guy 100% would have died fucking 10 years ago trying to investigate bear shit to see if it tasted good. And he would have just been mauled to death in a jungle, and we would have never been cursed to be...
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, you had to go out in the middle of a hurricane. You had to go get a leash. You had to find a spot to tie him to. Like, there's, like, steps to the thought process as opposed to going to shelter and saying, hey, I can't have my dog. Can you, like, take it? Like, if I feel like there's some sort of, like, cognitive disconnect in their fucking brain that doesn't, like, it's like short-circuiting, if that makes sense.
Burdened with his stupidity. Like, it is so fucking shocking that someone this dumb and this dangerously stupid and evil has made it this
is
far.
Actually
Since then, the Leon County Humane Society has received hundreds of inquiries about the dog. Meanwhile, Lopez
he's so cute.
Says some crimes can be enhanced to more serious ones if they're committed during a state of emergency. Animal cruelty is not one of them.
It has not been enhanced because we don't have the ability to do that.
Oh!
But the folks in Tallahassee do.
In Tampa, Ariel Placencia, Fox 13 News.
I've said this for years, and I will keep saying it for years to come. Animal cruelty charges need to carry harsher penalties. They need to have more severe consequences. There are an infinite number of studies that have been conducted that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt a very strong correlation between people that hurt animals and people that hurt human beings. I'm sure all of you already know this, but it's important to remember that one of the earliest signs of psychopathy in human beings is animal cruelty. Like a kid...
Yep, Ted Bundy dissected cats. Like, it's quite literally like a thing. Yeah, no joke. If you know someone that displayed that kind of cruelty, like, they're probably like a friggin' serial killer, or at least a psychopath who feels nothing. Yep.
Hurting the family pet,
Dahmer,
or skinning a stray cat, or gutting a squirrel, that kind of shit. Like, it is indicative of someone that could be a danger to society. Someone that would do something like this, tying a dog to a fence during a hurricane to ensure it dies a painful, agonizing death. Like, I understand he is facing repercussions, which is great. I think it's a maximum of 5 years. I don't know if
5 years. 5 years for that. Oh, the world is an unfair place, chat. Not gonna lie.
Get 5 years. I imagine he probably will not, but I think he should get the maximum possible sentence, and it should be a very harsh and severe sentence. I have said that for so long, and I will continue to say that for so long. Animal cruelty charges need to be taken much more seriously than they are. But I know I'm getting heated. The reason I'm calling this great news is because not only is the dog okay and most likely going to find its forever home after all of this, but they caught the guy, which I don't know how they did that. I appreciate that they took the time and effort to do that. I have no clue how they pulled that shit off, though. That blows my mind. Like I said, this kind of thing does happen a lot, unfortunately, for pieces of shit that just don't want their dog anymore. I don't know how they tracked him down. I guess they must have had like some maybe like traffic cams that they started to like piece together a timeline, and they figured out
big W right there
who it was based on that. Maybe the sheriff's department's got Cerebro in their headquarters, and they were able to fucking jack into the mainframe here and piece the whole puzzle together. I have no clue, but they did it. They did catch the guy, which is great. So I just wanted to share this good news. This is a story that I know a lot of you have probably seen because it was so big and so...
It could have been shipped, but I'm less inclined to believe that because the guy doesn't care for the dog. Guys, you have to understand this fucking amoeba of a human being probably didn't ship them. Yeah, you have to be the owner and like voluntarily do it, so yeah.
So sad and frustrating, and it has a happy ending. So that's good. Yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
People who abuse animals deserve the wall. Yep. That's all I can say.